Well, as you can tell, Hammer into Anvil is very much a confrontation of quotes between number 2 and the prisoner, quotes which serve to summarize their opposing roles. Number 2's quote is from Goethe, "You must be anvil or hammer." Here we see number 2's orientation, strict, violent, authoritarian. Everything is black or white. There are no shades of gray. The prisoner's quote, however, comes from Cervantes. "There is more harm in the village than is dreamt." Not only is this a very true statement, but it also encapsulates the prisoner's psychology. Picaresque, romantic, subtle, and witty. He knows he's tilting at windmills, but he also knows he'll be more successful at it than Don Quixote. Number 2's either-or mentality will prevent him from seeing the self-mocking double meaning of this quote. Our hero demonstrates a masterful knowledge of psychology in this episode. He realizes, for instance, that if you scratch a sadist, you find a paranoid. Any person intent on causing pain must be secretly afraid that the tables may someday be turned. All the prisoner has to do is push the buttons to activate the self-destruct aspect of this number 2's personality. After a painful process of trial and error over the previous episodes, here number 6 finally attains a mastery of the psychology of his captors. Last time, in A Change of Mind, we got a glimpse of this mastery. Number 6 defeated number 2 by turning the village against him. But it was a dirty victory. He used drugs and hypnotism and manipulated the sheep-like villagers just as blatantly as any number 2 had ever done to him. It was a victory fought on the village's terms, and those terms are just not good enough for the prisoner. We saw this in Living in Harmony when he removed his badge before he took up his gun. And now in Hammer into Anvil, he wins a decisive victory on his own terms, totally destroying his nemesis, using only his own knowledge, actions, and wits. This turning point is symbolized quite subtly in A Change of Mind when number 6 grasps the handlebars of the high-wheeler bicycle in number 2's chamber.
Oh yes, everything's clear-cut now. It's quite simple.
Why is this so symbolic a scene? Well, the answer lies in the meaning of the high-wheeler. Obviously, it's the logo of the village and the seal of the office of number 2. Curiously enough, the original high-wheeler, invented in 1871 by James Starley, was known for its instability and for the skill required to master it, much like the leadership of the village. By taking it firmly in his grasp, the prisoner shows us he has mastered the village, and from now on, he's in control. But as with all symbols, we can get much more from the bike than just the surface meaning. McGowan says he chose the bike to represent progress, a runaway machine that gets us nowhere fast. And knowing the punning nature of the series, perhaps the bike represents the big wheels of society oppressing the little ones. But ironically, without those little cogs, the big machine would topple. A further irony is apparent in the name of the device. The high-wheeler is also known as the penny farthing bicycle, because the wheels are proportionate to the sizes of the 2 British coins, the penny and the farthing. But the farthing, the small coin, is much more valuable than the large penny. The apparent values are reversed. Things are not as they seem on the surface. If we look at the main wheel and the frame together, they do sort of form a number 6. And from a distance, the bicycle design on the badges could suggest an open eye and eyebrow, the visual equivalent, perhaps, of the village's sinister slogan, "Be seeing you." The hand gesture of this salutation, by the way, also forms the number 6. But returning again to the punning aspects of the unconscious symbols, the bike could represent the cyclical nature of the series. As we soon shall see, the entire 17-episode presentation ends literally where it started. As T.S. Eliot put it, "In my end is my beginning." I'd like to thank Harvey Bernstein, Galen Tackett, and Gary Copsey for sharing their insights into the symbology of the bicycle. And a very special thanks goes out to Don Rodenberger at Road Bike in San Jose for loaning us this gorgeous penny farthing. Well, only 3 more episodes to go. Will the prisoner overcome his captors? Will he discover the identity of number 1? Will he ever truly escape the village? Just so happens that by the end of this episode, Hammer into Anvil, I think number 6 knows he can escape from the village at any time he chooses. But instead of escaping and returning to blow the place off the face of the earth, as he threatened to do in the chimes of Big Ben, he decides to stay and destroy it from within, which is probably what any secret agent worth his salt would do. In next week's episode, we'll get a thinly veiled allegory of how he intends to do this. We'll also get a better indication of how the prisoner's understanding of the village has extended from mastering its psychology to controlling its technology as well. It's a series entry full of comic relief, which is just what we need after the previous emotionally charged episodes. So, until next time, auf Wiedersehen.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Blast off for a special night of Doctor Who. First, it's a premiere of a long line.